The last year I've sold over $40,000 worth of soap online on Etsy, and I have thousands of 5-star reviews. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a simple cold process soap recipe that you can use to make soap for your family, friends, or start your own soap making business. Alright, that's enough blabbing. Let's go ahead and get to it. So the first thing we will do is gather our ingredients and tools that we're going to need. To start off, we will need heat resistant containers, silicone spatula, distilled water, sodium hydroxide, and a scale. Now, if you're on a budget like your girl is, you can go ahead and get a majority of these products at Dollar Tree. But don't worry, I'm going to have the links listed in the description for all the items that we're going to use today. Oh, and before I forget, I have a little surprise for you a little later in the video, but let's go ahead and measure out our water. For this recipe, we will be using 18 ounces of water and 6.8 ounces of lye. Wait. Before we get measured and booted, okay? For the handling of the lye. Whenever you're handling lye, you always want to wear protective eyewear, long sleeve, and gloves. Why? Because this lye gets extremely hot and it will damage your skin. Alright, so now that we have that disclaimer out the way, we're going to slowly pour the lye into the water. Never ever pour the water into the lye. Trust me. You will have a big, dangerous, hot mess on your hands. And now I know I'm a hot mess, but I don't want the kind of mess that lye will create. Let's slowly stir the lye using our silicone spatula. As we wait for the lye to cool down, more on that later. But we will melt down our lard and coconut oil. Now you can melt down your lard and coconut oil in the microwave. Just make sure you get all the aluminum off the coconut oil. The first time I melted down coconut oil, I almost blew up the microwave because I didn't get all the aluminum out the jar. But anyways, we need to measure out 1.12 ounces of lard, and then we're going to measure out 12 ounces of coconut oil and 12 ounces of olive oil. And as you can see, I like to measure out my ingredients into my heat resistant bowl, so that way all I have to do is just add the lye and water solution. And then remember earlier I mentioned letting the lye cool down. So the reason you do this is because you don't want your lye to be extremely hot when you're adding it to your oils. Because if it is, it's going to cause your soap to harden in your bowl before you can actually get it into the mold, into the soap mold. So for that reason, I usually allow my lye to cool down to about 130 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you're finding value in this video, can you do me a little bitty favor and like and subscribe? And if you're feeling really generous, you can do both for me. To mix our oils and lye, we're going to use an immersion hand blender. And when we blend, we're going to blend until we actually reach trace. At that time, you can add fragrance or coloring, whatever you want. But since this is a beginner recipe, we're going to keep it simple. And if you all want me to do a more in-depth tutorial where we can get real fancy and add colors and swirls, let me know down in the comments. But because it's time to pour our soap into the mold, now whenever we finish pouring, we're going to allow the soap about 12 to 24 hours to harden. And I'm sorry, I forgot to film me cutting it. I'm sorry, y'all. But this is the final product. Let me know in the comments how everything turned out for you. If you make your own batch of soap, make sure you tag me, let me know, send me a picture.